In fact, they were committed day one. And when they came, they sacrificed it all. We talk about sometimes, well, you don't understand my situation, you don't understand what I have to sacrifice. But when you have built a successful business, when you are now in the situation where it's time to start enjoying your family, to start enjoying the life that you've worked so hard to build, and you have to start over, that's pretty hard. That's all in. That's the kind of commitment that this couple took and decided that they were going to be all in. And it's no wonder that they're not only founders of this company, they've been Visionary Award winners. They're continually in the top ranking, not just in contests, not just in our elite, but in every category. They love to compete and lead by example. And I love that about them. They're not afraid to lead by example in every aspect of their life. Let's welcome founders and top leaders in the company, none other than Duke and Sheila Tubtim.
How's everyone doing today? Awesome. Let's go ahead and get everything going. And first off, we're excited to be here. I hope you're all enjoying convention so far. Awesome. And I know we have content that we want to share. So are you guys and gals ready to take some notes? All right. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to be talking about today, which is contests and promotions. And when we were first asked to talk about that, and one thing that we know, of course, the company throws great promotions, but also they said even for our organization, we do promotions and contests here and there. They wanted us to talk about that. So before I do that, I wanted to go more into the origin of this. Okay, where did this originate from? Because this is not an original idea, it didn't come from us. It actually came from someone that you may know, if you've heard of Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn. And what I want to do is play a quick clip of Jim Rohn talking about promotions. So let's go ahead and we're going to play that clip. And the clip is playing, so and hopefully, there we go. How's the weather?
Company comes up. Now the company comes up with what we call major promotions. Here's what you've got to come up with. The smaller promotions. The company comes up with major recognition. You've got to come up with small recognition for your people around you. The top five. The company's got top five. You've got your own top five in maybe 2 or 3 categories. Top five, top five, top five. And those little recognitions. To reach certain levels in the company, you have to take major steps. But for you, recognition, let them take small steps. Here's one of the secrets of your kind of business. Rewarding people for small steps of progress. Rewarding people. Sometimes it's just recognition, handshake, pat on the back. Mary, you're doing a fabulous job. And you figure out what those recognitions are. Small steps of progress. Guess what promotion pays if you learn it well? Big money. Getting people to do something they wouldn't ordinarily do by themselves.
All right. How many of us here want to make big money? Yeah. So it sounds like there's a lot of significance to that one clip. Again, that one clip was 1 minute long. There was a lot going on in there. So I want to quote Jim Rohn here. And Jim Rohn says, company comes up with major promotions. So we just saw, of course, the Slenderize to the Max contest, also the Hawaii trip. But one thing that ARIIX just did, which is awesome, is that they extended the Cancun trip. So I know this question may have been asked, but how many of us here are now running for the Cancun trip if you haven't already won it? This is what I want to say about these major promotions. These major promotions, this is the mentality that I have. Because some people say, well, Duke, Sheila, and also a lot of top leaders that you see, they run for these contests. Again, this is the mentality. My mentality, if the goal is to blow up our business, why not run to get all the freebies? How many of us here, I know I've asked this question a couple, how many of us here want to blow up our business? We want to blow up business. Let me ask that question one more time. How many of us here want to blow up business? Okay, perfect. Right? Now, if we're going to blow up the business, what's great is that what the company throws in terms of how to qualify for them, isn't it safe to say that blowing up the business is the byproduct? So I think to myself, you know what I was probably going to do in 6 months to a year from now, you know what, I'm going to do it a little bit sooner. For Sheila and myself, we wanted to raise our income, but when we heard about the Cancun trip and the cash contest, we said, why don't we just speed it up a little bit? So that's how we look at when it comes to these major promotions. Now, moving forward, again, with Jim Rohn, here's what you need to come up with: the smaller promotions. The smaller promotions. So what we've done is we summed up our thoughts behind smaller promotions down to 5 steps, okay? So I'm gonna run right into this with the 5 steps let's go back here. What is the purpose? What is the purpose? What direction do we want the team to go? Is it learning a new skill? Is it gathering a new generation of testimonials? Motivation to bring more guests? What about raising enrollments? How about more title advancements? So number 1 is, what direction do I want to take the team? Now let's go to number 2. Number 2, is there a long-term benefit for the team? I would say for the team should be underlined, right? For the team. Because if they see the benefit for them long-term, they say, this is perfect. What do we want to do? What exactly do we have to do? Which goes into number 3. Number 3 is, what is the team motivated to run for? What is the team motivated to run for? So again, we know the direction, we know what benefits them, and they know what benefits them long-term. Now it's like, okay, what do I want to run for? Is it food? Now we have some teammates that love food. They will do some amazing things for food, you know? And then there's cash, right? Some people run for cash. Some people run for designer clothes. These are just some of the things. Some people just run just to hang out. They go, I just want to hang out, okay? How about raising enrollments or more title advancements? So again, what will the team be motivated to do? Now, you can ask your team, hey, what motivates you? Okay, so from there, number 4, will it be profitable? Will it be profitable? I don't want to go into this just a little bit more, because some events barely cost anything. Potlucks are almost free. Just make sure whatever you bring tastes good. You know what I mean? Right? So some, as I said, some events barely cost anything, but some events could cost. They could cost quite a bit, right? Now, when it comes to these promotions that may cost a little bit more, the profit margin may not be big short term, but it could be huge long term. Okay? So again, will it be profitable? I care more about it being profitable long term more than short term. Number 5, stay focused on the long term benefits. This is the reason why I say this. Number 2 and number 5 may sound very similar, but number 2, again, what's the long term benefit for the team? Number 5 is more for the person that's throwing the promotion. Now I know a lot of us here may be looking at and saying, maybe my team is of a certain size. Some of us here might say, you know what, I don't really have a team yet. But this is what I'm gonna say. To acquire the skill, when do you wanna learn it? Do you wanna learn it when you have a huge team, or wouldn't it be great to learn it right before your team gets huge? Right? But let me talk about this real quick, staying focused on long-term benefits. ARIIX threw a cash contest. Total cash was around $50,000. Imagine throwing that promotion and knowing that money's gonna get paid out no matter what, and you gotta wait 24 weeks to see if it made sense. Could you imagine, again, if you were the one throwing a contest of that caliber, right? Man, imagine on the 5th week, on the 10th week, it's like, whoa, does this make sense? Will this be profitable? Will the team run for this? So that's why I say stay focused on the long-term benefit, so that way you can steer all the way through. So, with the 5 points, we're gonna go ahead and use 4 examples of contests and promotions that we have thrown. Now, some promotions have done very well, some promotions not as good. It's more of a trial and error thing. I won't say to be a master of this right out the gate, but it's a fun thing to do. And at the end of it all, the team kind of always wins because there's always something for them to be a part of. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to my wife, Sheila, and she's gonna talk about these subjects.
All right. So to illustrate the 5 points that Duke just covered, we're gonna ask the first question again. What direction do we want to take the team? Now, let's say we want to achieve a lot of product testimonials because we have a product launch, and it's great because now we have the essential oils. But we want to talk about Slenderize because before Slenderize officially launched, there was a promotional period that ARIIX allowed gold status to be able to buy Slenderize. And we jumped on that and we thought this would be a great opportunity to have our team get on the products and really have their story circulate. So then we asked, how will it benefit the team? Well, obviously, when they see that the product works, it grows their confidence in it so they can naturally share the products to their friends and family, which leads to volume, and that's always a good thing, right? So then that leads us to the third question. What will the team run for? Well, our team tends to like high-end designer gear. So we thought, why not bonus a designer suit, right? And so what's great about it is that we thought to ourselves, you know what, whoever the winner is, we're gonna get the suit one size smaller so it ensures that they keep the weight off. So that was like a little, we thought we were a little clever on our end, right? So let's share, is it profitable, right? That's the next question. Honey, did you wanna cover? Wait, I'm gonna spill this for
we
you.
threw the first contest. Some of us here may have seen Jason Lau in his pictures. They're circulated quite throughout the internet. And he was the first person to win the contest that we threw. And the question is it profitable? This is what I'm gonna say. The profits from all of these individuals that have lost a great amount of weight, have their testimonials, have their pictures, it's kind of immeasurable because still to this day, people are using these stories to acquire customers. So I would say it is definitely highly profitable.
Yes, and one thing I want to point out with Jason is if you look at his before pictures, people want that as their after picture, right? But he was able to get more definition being on the product, and that captured a lot more market because Duke, he was afraid to even touch Slenderize because he thought he was going to lose muscle. And Jason proved that wasn't the case. So what did he win? He won a Versace designer suit. He looks sharp. He looks like a boss, right? Let's talk about another winner. We have one of our directors, Julian Wong. And this is great because I felt like he looked like a completely different person with his transformation. He also won a Versace suit and he has like his runway look going on, so he looks great. Let's talk about the ladies. We have Crystal Arjona, one of our senior officers, and she won an Armani designer suit, and she really inspired a lot of the ladies to use Slenderize.
And talking about the long-term benefits, again, it was clearly evident that it wasn't just a success. Again, these were done a couple years ago. These actually set the precedence for ARIIX to throw like Slenderize to the Max contest. So again, staying focused on the long-term benefit went beyond just our organization.
Exactly. Now let's cover what we like to call VIP events. So we're going back to our first question again. What direction do we want to take the team? Let's say we want to up title advancements, okay? So the second question is, how does it benefit our team? Well, title advancements tend to boost the morale of the organization because people are getting paid. There's a lot of success stories being shared. And so then that leads us to, what will the team run for? And this got brought up. How about a pool party at Duke and Sheila's house? That's what they wanted, right? So is it profitable? Yes, because we're not renting a venue. We just really covered the food. And what's great about this is staying focused on the long term. Since it's held at our house and it's a more personal, private setting, we set the qualifications where they have to be a certain title. For our house, we say, okay, we don't want just someone new who could be a stranger to us, so we will put it at vice president and above. At the end of the competition, we don't just have a handful of new VPs. We have all sorts of titles because one thing that Duke teaches the team is if you want to go for a higher title, you have to give your current title to your downline. So if a director wants to go VP, he has to help his downline hit director. And that person has to help their downline hit manager and that person supervisor. So it's this chain effect, right? It boosts the morale, there's paycheck, there's success stories.
Again, just talking about it, I think it's pretty self-explanatory when it came to this event. What's great is that the expenses, again, were very, very low, and it was a great inspiration to the team long-term, so
yes.
Not much more to say about that one.
Okay, so since we are low on time, we're gonna run through this. Okay, Palm Springs Getaway. What was the purpose? We wanted to boost enrollments and PC counts. Okay, so how does it benefit the team? When you're a new rep, or let's say you've been involved and your business has stagnated, we like to encourage them, okay, let's time to do some personal enrollments, or let's up the PC count, right? How do they benefit from that? They learn new skill sets. It encourages them to up their product knowledge and up their skills of how to present the products, right? And so we asked, is it profitable?
This is one of those events that definitely costed a lot more because we had to get a venue for it. So we had the teams commit to it, and we showed them different places. But hey, team, would you want to run for this? When everyone's like, yeah, we'll totally run for this. We said, okay, this is what we want. We want to raise in our enrollments, right? So again, we had the direction clear. They agreed to the direction. What was great about an event like this is that it grew the team. There was a lot of new enrollments, but there was so much camaraderie going on. So many people with like minds and ambition. They said, wow, you know what? I'm not the only one doing this. So as I said, long-term wise, we got a lot of teammates that really stuck it through and became a part of the family.
Yes, very true. Now the last illustration is a new focus that we've had, and that is focusing on team lead bonus. We felt that when it came to all the bonuses, matching bonus we can talk about all day, every day. When it comes to the savings bonus, it's a great bonus because you get that big check. But we didn't really spend time with team lead bonus, and we saw that in our ARIIX office. We noticed we had a lot of representatives who were only 1 away from being team lead qualified, and even more so 2 away. So that was the direction we wanted to shift the team, and we asked ourselves, okay, how is it going to benefit the team? Well, who wouldn't want to get their products for free, right? And it really helps new reps because one of the objections they hear a lot is from their haters is you're wasting your money on that thing. Well, if you're getting your products for free, then that just closes that objection down, right? So then we asked them, what are you willing to run for? Our Southern California team said, we want to go to Universal Studios, right? And that's not cheap. That's like $80 a ticket. But our NorCal team, they said, forget the theme park. We want to get our grub on. And they opted for all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue.
Deanna Lapson's looking at that right now.
Yes, and from what we heard, there was 16 premium cuts of meat. That's like carnivore heaven. And that's not cheap either. We heard it was like $50 for lunch pricing, so we're like, okay, go to lunch, not to dinner, right? So, is it profitable? Honey, you want to cover that?
This is what I would say. In the short run, when it was all said and done, those 2 contests definitely costed a good amount of money. But one thing that we got is that we had teammates saying, I never focused on team lead bonus like this before, and I didn't realize how easy it was to do. So it was a huge confidence booster for the team. And what's great is that the auto deliveries went up. So even though it may not have been extremely profitable right out the gate, we know in the long run, with all that residual that was built up, it will be profitable.
Yes, and it really sets a culture for our team where team lead bonus is just something that you just automatically do, and you help your people do that as well. So in conclusion, what we wanted people to know is that we're not telling you to throw a pool party next week. We're not saying that. What we're saying is these are some of the ideas that we have thrown that have worked very, very well. We want people to experiment with this, and I think that's part of the fun. Your team will run for certain things and just say, hey, you know what, let's go ahead, let's put this together. But remember these 5 points whenever you do this, because we want to make sure that if you do contests and promotions for your team, that it is profitable, whether it's long-term or short-term, right? So anyways, other than that, I know that's our time. So thank you for having us.